Welcome to another episode of Obscured Reality. Join your hosts, Mark and Stephanie, as they take you through a journey of the extraordinary, bizarre, and often frightening world of the unknown. Explore topics of the paranormal, UFOs, alien abduction, lost civilizations, mythical monsters, and other unexplained mysteries. Come along with us as we transcend into another dimension of obscured reality.
Welcome back to Obscured Reality. Mark and Stevie back at you again. Tonight we got a little change up from our UFO stuff. That's only because it keeps coming out in the goddamn news. Tonight we're going to talk about Bigfoot. An old Bigfoot story from 1980-ish. You may have heard of it. This is the Johnstown, Pennsylvania Bigfoot. Ring a bell, Stevie? Probably not.
Pennsylvania. Okay.
Pennsylvania. It's foresty, man. It's wooded. It's
No
vegetated.
shit. I just haven't really heard of a lot of Pennsylvania Bigfoots.
You know what else you probably haven't heard of? A lot of Bigfoots in Southern California, but there are old stories not too far from South Orange County.
Well, I mean, yeah, how old is old? Because for a very long time, like, this was all literal, like, orange groves and fields.
Yeah.
And,
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was probably around the same time frame, give or take a decade. But yeah, I mean, you still wouldn't expect it. But then again, who knows? I mean, it's all dependent on, is Bigfoot real? Because there's crazies everywhere, right? So technically there could be a Bigfoot anywhere. But, and I'm only saying, I'm not poking fun at you. Seen something, whatever. I'm not making fun, but, you know, there's plenty of crazies out there that just make shit up or can't tell the difference between a rock and a bear.
The internet exists, thank God.
It's what it is. So yeah, let's get started.
Yeah.
In the autumn of 1980, television viewers were anxiously waiting to find out who shot JR on the TV series Dallas in the American League Championship Series. Had the Kansas City Royals in a bat fest with the New York Yankees. I mean, I'm not a big fan of sports. I really wish I was. I really wish I could get into football, but whatever. And in Mason and Fleming counties, something was lurking in the night, which led to at least 3 hair-crossing encounters.
Oh.
All right, so let's start here. In early October, the Charles Fulton family of Slip Up, which is near Mays Lick, reported seeing a white-haired creature with pink eyes standing more than 7 feet tall and weighing more than 400 pounds at their doorstep. After it attempted to get into the house and assaulted a chicken, Charles Fulton chased after the creature, but it evaded him and disappeared into the night. Okay, yeah, we gotta stop. We gotta stop right here.
Yeah, we do.
Number 1, Mays Lick. I mean, there are some great names in this country, I gotta say.
Pennsylvania has most of them.
Yeah, white-haired creature, pink eyes, more than 7 feet tall, more than 400 pounds.
So a Yeti?
It's a fucking polar bear. No, because it's Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, obviously it's not.
So it's an albino Bigfoot is what I'm hearing.
An albino brown bear or black bear.
Yeah. Albino something. White fur, pink eyes, that's albino.
Well, what I'm really interested in, number 1 is Mays Lick. Number 2, this thing assaulted a chicken. What kind of assault are we talking? Like sexual assault? It tried to eat it? I mean, it's a chicken.
I'm going to assume that it probably tried to, like, swipe and grab at said chicken to go do an Aussie on it, but can't confirm.
Yeah.
That really should be clarified. Phrasing.
You would think.
No.
Well, here's a map. Here's Mays Lick. Yeah, that is Maze Lick. I did notice something interesting. There's a funeral home and crematory nearby. There's Maze Lick Baptist Church. There's also God's Pantry. I mean, it's not too
Zoom out
far
a little
beyond.
more.
It's not too far beyond our imagination to believe there would definitely be Bigfoots in this area.
I wonder how. I was going to say mountainous, but I'm going to rephrase that to
Well,
hilly.
it's not that mountain. Let's switch
Okay.
views here. It's all.
Oh, okay,
I mean,
okay.
there's hills and stuff,
There's
right?
hills, but it's
It doesn't matter. It's technically it's in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around it.
I was just asking because of how small it is and how long the was. It looked almost like it was in a
Yeah.
valley, but it's not.
Yeah, and
So-
Maze Lick has a mill.
Hmm?
I mean, I just name everything Maze Lick and then what it is. Like if it's a grocery
I
store,
wonder if
Maze
they
Lick
have.
grocery
I wonder
store.
if Maze Lick Mill has a grindstone.
I wonder if Maze Lick has liquor store. Bad joke. There's a cemetery. Baptist, looks like a religious place here.
Most places are. That's
It's a
where
good
you
place
make
for
the most
Bigfoot.
money in America is through a church. So
Well, yeah. So, let's get back to it here. So that happened in early October. A week later, on October 10th, 1980, the Tumey family of Ewing reported a similar incident chasing the creature into the night with James. His name's James
okay.
Toomey.
His name's
But
James.
in quotes, there's a nickname with James Chink Toomey firing warning shots from a distance. Don't comment on that. I am curious why
shall
he has
refrain.
that. He described the creature as man-like and big, making a thumping noise as it ran. That's a quote. According to reports, 2 loaves of bread, a frozen chicken, and a pack of hot dogs were missing from the freezer, his wife told police. Food products from the family's freezer, which had been on an enclosed porch, were found in the yard by police and neighbors who came running when they heard the gunshots. Okay, so it's on an enclosed porch. So first I want to know is this door, screen door, whatever it is, to the enclosed porch locked? If so, it would have had to break in. If it had to break in, tear through a screen, break open the door, whatever, then might be a better chance of DNA, right?
Yeah.
It's getting hostile. But I'd also question if Bigfoots are real, would a Bigfoot know what a freezer is and that there's food in it? I'm just saying. I mean, let's
you're right.
just use some common sense. I mean,
No, you're right.
but on that note, I used to go camping in the Sierra Nevada mountains, Northern California, mid California, every year, a long time ago. And we had a big green Coleman cooler, huge, with a latch that you have to switch the other way to lock it. And it's not locked like with a padlock, right? But it's latched. And that latch is under a handle. So you got to get in there.
Yeah.
Because there's bears there. You see bears
Yes.
almost daily, once every few days. They're coming down from the mountain, knocking over the trash cans for people's trash and food. They are very smart and they know what trash cans are, right? They also
Yes.
know what coolers are because they go to every goddamn picnic table that has a cooler under it and get into the coolers. Ours, they slapped this fucking thing out somehow from under the picnic table. And they opened it. There's claw dents in it. They fucking opened it. They opened the goddamn latch and got in. They ate the pancake batter, whatever the hell else was in there. Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, they just bite into it.
I mean,
and
that's why they
shit
tell you
drains
to
out.
put your food in a tree. So
Well, yeah, but when you're out at actual campsites, campgrounds with hundreds
True.
of people, you're not
Bears
taking
do
a
not
cooler's
care.
worth of shit and putting it in the tree. That's more for like backpacking, which
true.
I did up there as well. We went backpacking up to the top of this mountain. It was amazing. You see things up there you're not going to see anywhere else, ponds and lakes and shit. And where we backpacked for the night, yeah, we did that. There wasn't a good tree for it, but we wound up slinging it up, I think it was like over a tree and then up a side of a huge boulder.
Mm,
So it's like in the middle, but whatever. Um, so, not saying Bigfoots are real or not real,
right.
but bears are very smart.
Yes.
Um, if there was some type of creature like this, I wouldn't doubt that maybe it's smart. But here's the problem. It's like it purposely went after their freezer, knowing there'd be food inside. That would
Mhm.
tell me this isn't the first freezer they've seen. If that's not the first freezer they've seen or refrigerator, then I would expect quite a few other stories about this type
A
of thing, and we don't hear it.
white-haired, pink-eyed,
Yeah,
7 foot
we
tall.
don't hear it. But then again, maybe people haven't seen it, right? Maybe it happened
Mm.
when they weren't home sleeping. Who the hell knows?
Mm.
So let's continue. Here's a quote: "You could see where whatever it was had made a mess on the porch, got into the freezer, and had torn into the freezer meat," said Estill
Essel.
Helfenstein, one of the. Oh, it's a man. One of the men who searched the woods for the perpetrator after police were called. Quote, "We didn't know what we were looking for, but we had guns and good lights and went into the woods." And that's all you need is a goddamn gun. I mean,
Eh.
um, a lot of people claim a gun wouldn't be too effective on a Sasquatch if they're real. And I wouldn't doubt that because, you still got to be careful with bears. If anything, it's the pain from the initial bullet that's going to tell them to fuck off.
Yeah.
Right, but they might live unless you just get them in the skull and it breaks through. It's powerful enough to,
I mean,
that's why you
there
take a
are
rifle.
guns out there that are designed to take these fuckers down in a shot. Like there are,
Yeah,
oddly enough, elephant guns, and so I'm sure
mm-hmm.
there's a gun that has a slug that will probably take your arm out of socket, but put the bear down in one shot too. So,
Well, Helfenstein and the late Johnny Burke, he died apparently, searched the woods but didn't find the creature. He said, "We did find bear, B-A-R-E, bear footprints that were about 14 inches long and probably 6 inches wide in the creek bed. We both saw that, and there is no denying it." Okay. Well, there's no denying it for you and him. To the rest of us, without proof, then,
they
quote,
spelled bear wrong.
It was scary in those woods in the dark and not knowing what you might find," he said. What was that?
Bare. I'm still stuck on that. Like, so you
Bear.
found bear prints. So
Bear,
like
as in
bare
Bare,
feet. Print.
not the animal, right?
Um,
Bare
that's
feet,
weird. I feel like
footprints.
that's a.
Not he's saying not with shoes on,
I know,
essentially,
but
right?
that's just a very strange way of phrasing it. Like when I hear bear prints, like I'm thinking bear prints,
Well,
not like if someone's gonna
yeah,
say
that's why
barefooted prints.
that's why I explained it. Most people are gonna say footprints, right? But he's thinking. So if you and I go hiking and I say, "I see your footprints," do I really see your footprints? No, I see your shoe prints. I'm not being specific enough. He's being very specific, which is good. He's indicating we saw footprints that were bare, B-A-R-E, no shoes. He could have just said footprints, a actual footprint without shoes. I mean, pick the shorter way of saying it. Nothing
I would
wrong
have
with
picked a longer
bare
way
as long
because
as
it's
it's correct.
more, clear.
Well,
Just
that's why
saying.
it's spelled out B-A-R-E.
Yeah, but even
Um,
I would have been like, is that a misspelling? I would have
I mean,
I would
it's
have
not
thought.
like my vocabulary. I wouldn't use the word B-A-R-E, and
Mhm.
if I did, I would feel the necessity to spell it as well. So it's clear what I'm talking about, and that's probably why he did. But who
Got
knows?
you.
He spelled it out, and that's good. At the time, Maysville Mayor David Cartmel was publishing competition for the Ledger Independent and covered the creature sightings at length in front page stories in The Mirror. That's a paper, an article they do, I don't know. Even publishing an artist rendering of an image of the creature.
Oh,
Great.
please
An
tell
artist
me. Please tell me you
rendering.
got it.
No.
Oh.
Back then, you could publish anything, Cartmel said. "We had interviews with all sorts of people and more claims of seeing it. One guy at a tobacco warehouse said he saw it carrying a burlap sack and smoking a cigar.
What?
That to me sounds like a homeless person." uh, hairy because he hasn't shaved. I mean,
That's bad. That's
I
bad,
think-
bro. You need help if you're being like
yeah. Well, I think he's getting
mistaken
to
as
a point.
Sasquatch.
I think he's getting to a point, and we'll find out here in a minute. But I have a feeling he has a point.
Mhm.
Cool. The stories were the talk of the town. One woman reported being
sure.
chased around a parking lot by the creature when she stopped for change at the laundromat. Yeah, laundromat chased around the parking lot. Nobody saw it, but her.
I don't believe that.
Quote, it was that time of year, so we ran with it, Cartmel said. We had fun with it, even though it was probably a hoax. So
Like that time of
he's
year,
saying,
so, like Halloween.
he's saying at that time, you could publish anything. He's, to me, kind of hinting at people come up with a bunch of BS stuff. You could kind of publish anything then, they did, whatever. It sold a lot of newspapers, said Bob Hendrickson, the Ledger Independent publisher. Fleming County Sheriff, late, he's passed away, G.W. White. He was called to the scene of the Ewing incident, but a search by neighbors and police into the early morning did not locate the creature. Searches continued when some residents claimed to have found 14-inch imprints in sand of a barefoot creature. Police were able to recover hair samples from the home site, which were turned over to Kentucky State Police. And were reportedly from a human, police said. And the story did not stop with local people. November 5th, 1980, so about a month later, an Alabama truck driver, Noble Clay, apparently unaware of the other sightings, reported seeing the creature along US 68 near Maysville, mistaking it for a hitchhiker until he saw it closely in the bright headlights of his truck. He notified police. It's been more than 35 years since the region had sightings of the creature, but questions about what frightened folks from Ewing to Mays Lick and beyond in 1980 continue to today. The creature.
So where's Ewing compared to Mays Lick?
That's a good question. I don't know. Mays Lick, PA. Let's see. Ewing. See, it all goes.
I found it.
Ewing. Is it in PA?
Dead south.
Is it in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Or Kentucky?
No, I think it's in PA. Unless. Yeah,
right there. There's Ewing, just south.
Damn, it's tiny. It's tinier than Mays Lick. Jesus.
Well, it depends on the tongue. It looks about the same.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut, man.
Yeah, I mean, why? I don't. So, yeah, we do have a picture.
Why I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying.
I know.
We got a picture. Now this picture. This picture. Well, let's just pull it up.
Yeah, let's.
Here's the Bigfoot track. You got a pack of matches in there, so you have good size reference. It looks like a pack of cigarettes next to it, possibly.
Size reference is they need to do it with a banana, so I have good idea of scale.
Big feet. You know what they say? Big bananas.
It started on Reddit, man.
Jesus,
it started
Stevie,
on Reddit. Reddit started the whole measuring things with bananas. Okay,
what is it when you're into those types of things with animals?
No, they're using bananas for scale, and it just crossed over into my dull.
Bananas are all different sizes. That's a horrible way.
Well, I mean,
banana's good for two things: eating, and I'm not going to say the other one. And the size doesn't matter on the other one because they're all decent size. For this, you're not going to know what size banana you're looking at compared to that foot. Matchbooks are all the same.
Average. Bananas are very, very average in their size. They are at least one thing consistent with that.
A matchbook, they're all the same size. So we know how big this foot is. So
banana's better
than a matchbook, of course. But all right, we got to stop. I'm going to stop sharing that. So, that's that. 1980, there was quite a few stories from around the country around that time as well. I know in California, not necessarily around that time, but probably up until today as well. Northern California, but you also have
Oh
Oregon,
yeah.
Washington. It's all
Yeah.
forested. You have the
Mm-hmm.
Pacific Crest Trail, which goes from California, Southern California, all the way up to Oregon. I want to say up to Washington, possibly into Canada.
Ooh.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's Pacific
No, sounds
PCT,
right.
Pacific Crest Trail, just on top of the mountains all the way up.
Yeah. Oof, that
Um,
sounds fucking beautiful. Wow.
well, it's California. It might be
Okay,
better when
minus the
you.
California part, it sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it'd be better when you get into
North, mid to
Northern
north.
California
Yeah.
and north of there.
I actually really like mid Cali too. Like right as the fruit farm starts.
Mid Cali is gonna be San Francisco-ish and a little south.
Yeah, no, for real. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I guess even farther south than that. Either way,
where
sorry,
you
I
where you lived
digress.
was not Mid Cali.
No, I know, but
That's called the
there's times
IE,
where I
the
went.
Inland Empire.
I went up
trash.
to I want to call it Modesto. Yeah, Modesto. I went up to Modesto a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's on the way up there.
That was actually a pretty drive. So I'll give Cali that. That's about where
Yeah.
I
You
find
didn't go
it
far
to
enough
become.
north. You need to go a few more hours
I've been to
north,
San
and then you'll be like,
Francisco.
oh,
No, I've been to San
yeah,
Francisco.
Modesto, yeah, crap.
No, that's just about where it gets like tolerant for me.
Well, everyone's tolerant is different. I get
Yeah.
that.
Tolerance starts at Modesto. Anyways, digress.
I'm sorry. I try not to stop there.
Oh, tolerant. I didn't say acceptable. I said tolerant.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So Bigfoot. I mean,
Mm.
what do you think? What's not? Well, let's start with this story. What do you
Yeah.
think? What do you think on what we're talking about here?
I am I'm still kind of hung up on the whole like white fur, pink eyes thing. Like it definitely
Mhm.
sounds like we have an albino like bear on our hands.
You've never heard of a white
Yeah.
Bigfoot?
Yeah, no.
Never.
Never.
Never. This is it.
It's a fucking Yeti. Just it's a misplaced Yeti.
Yeah, and
Um,
Yeti, same thing.
Yeah,
It's-
Yeti. Yeah, and Yetis are white,
you know,
but they don't have pink eyes though. Like I've never recalled a story
Yeah.
of anything that had pink eyes as well.
I don't know how many Bigfoot stories I recall where anyone actually describes the color of the eyes. But when you have that kind of contrast, when you're talking about white fur or hair,
I think
then that may be way easier to tell. If you were an albino person, your eyes would stand out. It doesn't matter what color they are.
yeah.
They're going to stand out.
Mhm.
So that could be why, you know.
I feel like
But
red or pink eyes of any fur color would be kind of terrifying, but I think the white you're right. Sets
maybe
it
the
off like a
Bigfoot-
white rabbit.
You know, the pink eyes, maybe the Bigfoot just got done smoking a joint.
Hey.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Maybe he's the Jack Lee Jerky guy, like Sasquatch.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Clearly,
mean, what do
know
you
how
what do
I
you think
feel
about
about
this?
it based on my jokes.
What do you think about this story? You think I mean, again, this is 1980. This is Pennsylvania.
People will publish anything, like they said. I don't know. I think maybe one person had a legitimate encounter with like a albino
Something.
bear, but I just have a hard time believing X amount of people. Huh?
Is there such thing as an albino bear?
Yeah, it's
that
legitimately
sounds.
a thing.
Is it?
Yes, absolutely.
It
There
is?
are white
I
black
don't know.
bears. No,
Yeah, I don't know.
albinoism is nothing more than
fuck.
Oh, you fucking set yourself up for this, so I don't want to hear it.
Well, check this out. I
It's-
mean, look, what do you see? Pink eyes. Pink eyes. Pink eyes. Pink eyes. Let's scroll some more. You want some more pink eyes? Yeah, they're cute until their claws and teeth are in you. Pink nose, pink ears. It all stands out because of the white fur. Pink paws. Look at that guy. He looks cuddly until he's not. An albino brown bear. Look at this guy. He's got mold all over him. This guy's dead. They drew the outline.
Oh, Lord.
Crime scene.
Yep.
Albino bears. I've never
yeah.
looked into it. This guy looks like a panda. He is a panda. So I don't know why he's in there.
Yeah,
Pandas aren't
man.
really
Is that an
bears, right?
albino sun bear? Oh, yeah, because like albinism is just simply a lack of melanin.
Right.
Just like the opposite is having too much. Like panthers. Panthers are just leopards
That
that have too much melatonin.
this is an albino
Melatonin.
bear I don't want to meet right here. He's got armor on.
The only
Anyways, hey, let's get back to reality. Albino bear, pink eyes.
totally a thing.
We know an adult bear
Boom. It's
standing
tall.
up is going to be. I'm 6'5", taller than me.
Mhm.
So, totally possible.
Yeah, and as a very short person, that is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, as anyone, that's terrifying because they're so wide and nasty.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the people who have like grizzly bears as pets, and like the girls that do like the photo shoots with them, and the bear's all like putting his mouth and his lips around their head, and I'm like, oh, I would be pissing myself if I was
some
that
people
chick.
don't think.
No.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think there's at least one truish story in here. What they saw, I don't know. I mean, it's the only story of an albino Sasquatch we've ever heard.
Right.
Could it be a bear? I believe there's bears in that area, in Pennsylvania at least. But what's?
Because just to the south of it, the southwest, it looked like when you pulled up the map, it did look like there was some hillier terrain and like some woods that started to creep up. Because it really did look to the southwest like there was a couple of valleys or ridge lines, really, where there was some trees
coming in. I thought that was kind of mountainous. It wasn't. It was just all trees coming in.
I think it's just the foothills of like not so much mountains, but bigger hills.
Just some facts. Only the black bear is found in Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you're going to have an albino black bear.
Possibly.
They've had them in like Yellowstone. I'm pretty sure there was actually an albino black bear born in Yellowstone quite recently. Because I mean, anything that's on native land that's born albino is cause for celebration because it's a rebirth of the Great Spirit.
Yeah.
So
we got your opinion. My opinion is similar. I think there's at least one true story in here. Not necessarily that it was a Bigfoot. We don't know, but that something happened. Something was seen. On that note, what do you think about Bigfoot in general? The idea of a massive creature living in forested areas that's never been caught, never been really found. There's never really been any evidence. And I don't know, are the stories slowing down since technology gets better and more people have cameras on them every day? What are your thoughts on the idea of Bigfoot?
I do find the idea of Bigfoot very interesting because the concept of a Bigfoot creature does go throughout all of the current cultures, not all, but most of the current cultures, I should say, of the world. And we're talking, obviously from the Arctic with the Yeti to us, with Bigfoots to South Asia, where they have their own version of a Bigfoot that the word is, I can't pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try. But so there's stories of large half ape, half bear, half man creatures, whatever it be, all over the world. So whether it's a like legitimate thing, maybe it's just stories passed down from a time, and people want to see what they want to see, and especially if these stories are part of their culture. I can see someone believing that they saw what they have been told about,
right,
versus what it actually is, especially if so I do believe that that all Bigfoots do have a basis of some creature, and it's mostly like wives' tales at this point, and that's why, yeah, you're right. Things have slowed down because of technology, but I do believe that they're all based on some form of half myth and half actual like run-in encounter that a culture had with some great animal once upon a time.
Right.
Yeah.
So my idea on Bigfoot here, you know, part of me says I don't know what the hell to think, but the rational, common sense part of me says, and this comes from reading things as well,
Mm.
and totally makes sense. There's been people that have studied this and looked into it and come up with calculations on look, what would it take for a society of creatures such as this to live and remain elusive? Um, they said it's basically impossible. You'd
Mhm.
need such a large amount of them to be able to maintain their presence that you should easily be able to find one. With as many people as are that are in this country and out in the forest hunting, camping, whatever, there should be more sightings. And
Yeah.
we'd have. How long
A
ago did
small
we
group
figure
would
out
result in
bears
like
were
a
a
hills
thing?
have eyes.
Yeah. How long ago did we find out there was such thing as bears, deer, squirrels? You name it.
Mm.
Something this big, sure, maybe it stays away from people, but you you would need such a large population.
Mhm.
It'd be really hard to hide. We've been everywhere in the country, and these things allegedly live in the forest, the hill, the mountainous regions, the forested areas. People have looked,
Mhm.
and they never come up with anything other
Yeah.
than, oh, I heard a noise, oh,
Ooh, I
something threw
smelled
rocks at me,
something. It smells
horrible,
stinky.
horrible smell.
Mhm.
All the other life that we heard in the forest that night, crickets and stuff, just went,
And
okay, we
a
found a
lot of
footprint.
times people do confuse the scream of a bobcat, mountain lion for something else. Like it sounds like a woman screaming. So
you know
like
when
there
when you're out
are
when you're out in the middle of nowhere, in the desert, in the forest, in the
yeah,
mountains, it doesn't matter, and it's super quiet and you're camping, or even not camping, but when you're
everything is
camping,
terrifying.
and I'm talking from experience here, desert or forest or mountains, you go to bed at night,
Mm.
you lay down in a tent, and now everything's more quiet. You're not talking with your friends, everyone's
Mhm.
laying down, it's super quiet. You can
Mhm.
have a mouse walking by in the fucking leaves,
And
and
it's
it
loud
sounds
as
like it is the
fuck.
size of a deer.
Yes.
You can't,
I
so,
completely agree. I woke up to coyotes next to my tent in Arizona. So like I
oh, well, that would be scary.
that was terrifying. But no,
Uh,
like everything, yes, you're right. Everything is much louder because the silence of night.
yeah, it's just like when you're in your
Yeah.
house and you're in bed, it's nighttime, it's dead
Mm.
silent. Even if there's someone else there, they're sleeping.
Yeah. You
You
can
hear a
hear the
little,
house creaking,
you
the
hear a
house
little creak
moving. Yeah.
because the wood is cooling down from the air
Mhm.
in the night. Well, it sounds way louder than it would be during the day, even though you hear it during the
And
day.
it
You
sounds
just don't even
creepy as
notice it.
fuck too, because you're like, what
Yeah.
was that? Like, oh,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
the idea of Bigfoot, I mean, could it be a thing? Maybe. But I got to go with the professionals that have looked into this, saying for a population to stay this long, they'd need to be a
Mhm.
considerable size, and it's just
Mhm.
next to impossible without us having found them already. And
Yeah.
nobody's found them. You can give me any story in the book. That's not finding them. Finding them is here's one, alive or dead, but here is a legit Bigfoot.
Mhm.
Then we do our thing,
Oh
study it,
yeah.
whatever.
That's
But
another thing. Why
it's
have we
never
never found any bodies?
exactly. It doesn't happen. So
Yeah.
are you going to tell me they bury?
They're
No, no,
dead.
no, no,
No, no,
no.
no.
Let's not go there because then you're going to say, or I'm sorry. Then what you're saying is they're too close to humans. Like,
Mm.
why do we bury our dead? It's probably from religion, right? Is a Sasquatch, right? An alleged animal gonna bury its dead? But we don't find dead bears everywhere either. You got to think if a bear's sick, hurt, whatever, and it's dying, a lot of animals go and hide. They're
True.
going to die, and then scavengers are going to get them. Same thing with
Mhm.
Bigfoot, if it's even real. But there's a lot of stories. I've read a ton of stories. There's a lot that really seem credible. And at that point, you got to decipher, well, okay, I believe the story. They saw something, but what is it they really saw? Was it really this elusive creature, or was it really something else? But then when you think about it, what else is close to a Bigfoot? What's been described as Bigfoot? A bear, and that's it. And if you live in an area where there's bears, you know what a fucking bear looks like. So then you got to ask yourself, how could someone that's familiar with bears, sees them at least once in a while, doesn't study them, but sees them here and there, how do they mistake a bear for an alleged Bigfoot?
I mean, people mistake a dog with mange for a chupacabra, so...
Well, you've never seen one, but then again, could this be a bear with mange? I mean, we've seen it in another story. So there's too many sightings, though. So then that's where we gotta, really look at it. So, and, we have so many shows, people going out in groups, we're Sasquatch hunters, we're going to go out and find them. And there's never anything, that's entertainment. And they never find anything. It'd be fun to do, but, you're just camping at that point and talking about a myth,
the myth,
as of
the
now.
Legend. Bigfoot.
Yeah, Sasquatch. The myth, the man, the legend.
Sasquatch.
I mean, so I don't know. Of course, I'd love there to really be something to it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But we even see with the Patterson-Gimlin, the original Bigfoot story, the biggest one, Northern California, we even see that whole thing looks like a setup. And not that both of them were in on this hoax, but one of them possibly and probably was. Really looks like it. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of my take. I'd like to think it's real, but I'm not going to let wanting something change me into thinking it is true. Who the fuck knows?
Right.
You got to go with I got to go with professionals. As long as they're not working for the government, I can believe them. And they're not. They're the ones I've read about. So, yeah, I'm kind of joking, kind of not, but you know what I mean. So,
for legal purposes, this was a joke.
Unless government's watching it.
It's like that meme.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's Johnstown, Pennsylvania Bigfoot. We'll get some more Bigfoot stories out there. There's some cool ones, and it is what it is. But with that, any final comments there, Stevie?
Not really. I
mean, nothing.
Final comment, I guess.
Yeah.
I appreciate the pink eyes and the white fur, at least. At least there was something different to, grab your attention to it. It wasn't just a standard Bigfoot story. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was at night, so we can go with, maybe there's some truth, Maybe he did mistake a albino bear. It was at night, and maybe it was mangy, I mean,
it's albino. I can't imagine it would have an easy life, especially when you stick out like a sore thumb. So
yeah. Well, on that note, if you have a personal story of your own, you've seen a Bigfoot, you think you've seen a Bigfoot, aliens, UFOs, you have relatives of relatives of relatives of relatives that were from an ancient lost civilization, shoot us an email at obscuredr1@gmail.com. Type story in the subject line. Let us know your story. We'll tell it for you on here. If you want to come on, be on the show. Super simple to do. You can come on the show, tell your own story. We can have a chat. Nice and easy to do. You don't really have to do much of anything. Anonymously, if you want, that's fine with us. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the thing, Stevie.
The bell.
Yeah, the bell.
The bell for the notifications for every Friday when we drop a new episode.
There you go.
Every little bit of click and support helps.
Yep. And with that said, we're out of here. Peace.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to check back with us often for new episodes. Feel free to drop a comment, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Obscured Reality.